Hello, chat. Back in the day, there was a Twitch poll panel show called Hippy Dippy. Hippy Dippy wasn't just a political panel show on Twitch. It was the political panel show on Twitch. While it was enjoyed by many, there were many criticisms of Hippy Dippy. Outside of its raw value as blood sports entertainment, it was viewed by some as an ill-suited format for productive discourse, a soup in which the loudest and dumbest ideas boiled to the top. When host Dylan Burns ended the show to cover the war in Ukraine, he was nearly universally praised for having, let's say, evolved beyond such lowbrow content. But it's a new year, and Hippy Dippy is back. Now, it's my understanding that Dylan is experiencing an extremely rocky relationship with YouTube, as far as advertising revenue is concerned. So, I don't hold it against him in any way that he'd return to what is no doubt a very lucrative program. Regardless of the negative feelings people have, or even the possibility for unsavory characters to climb their way into the spotlight, there is always a place online for blood sports. But the question remains, has anything changed? Has Hippy Dippy improved? Will things be different? Do we want them to be? And in the interest of answering these questions, we will be playing Doom. Also, we can watch Hippy Dippy, I guess. I guess we'll take a look at who's on the panel here. We got Dylan Burns, obviously. We got Vaush here. We got Stardust. We got Lecture Fan. I'm glad he's labeled it, or else I wouldn't have known who he was. We got Kevin Logan there. I don't know who any of these people are, but I guess we'll let Dylan Burns introduce everyone. All right, we'll put that up here. All right, so we're continuing our pistol run of Doom 64 Ascension. That's a mod. Link in the description. Save scumming is allowed because we're cowards. We're filthy cowards. All right, let's begin. Oh, and we're probably splitting this into two parts because this is like 3 hours and 50 minutes. And it's New Year's, and I don't have that much time today. And you all can go fuck yourselves. I'm just joking. I love you, chat.
For a ban on Muslim, right?
You can't go. You can't.
Wait, I don't want to waste my ammo there.
Donald Trump, Jesus Christ, get him out of your head, you.
I do gotta ask you something, CTV.
What's that, buddy?
You know, Vosh technically never lost the title.
You literally said that, dude. You literally said that, dude. You're a creep and a cheat. No, dude, you're a creep and a cheat. No, you're a creep and a cheat.
I'm the pimp on a blimp, but
no, you're the creep and the cheat. You're the creep and the cheat. You're blimp, dude. You pop your own blimp with your creepiness, dude.
Let's be honest. What's this deal with
Okay, this
reality?
sounds like it's gonna be productive.
My personal opinion.
Young people care a lot.
Young people 100% going to be damaged prior to.
So I can't hear anything.
Do you think the situation in Israel is going to end like tomorrow?
Wait. Okay. The victor is.
Uh-oh.
Okay, there we are.
Oh, there
okay,
you
I
go.
can see Dylan. Where's everybody else?
They are still. Well, it's just you, Kevin. You've won. You've won.
It's just me. I've won. I've already won. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We already won.
Is this
okay? Well, we got Jake here. We got Jake here. So I guess
welcome, both of you guys. Welcome you guys to the pre-show. I appreciate you guys coming on today. We had some other guests that were going to do pre-show stuff, but they had to cancel. But they did record some message, so we're going to play that in a bit. Thank you both for coming on. You are both Hippy Dippy alumni, and Hippy Dippy's been gone for a while, so I wanted to make sure that if I brought it back, that I only had the cutting edge of what the platform had to offer when it came to this panel. So how have you two been? How have you been, Jake?
very good, very good.
I'm glad to see that you're well and back, man. You're looking luscious, very luscious.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I try to be as luscious as I can be. Kevin Castley, how have you been?
Well, I've been busy as hell. I was just talking to Danable and the crew backstage basically about this. Like, I got 70 minutes of sleep in the last 24 hours. I'm a pretty busy dude. I'm going to get back into, consistent content creation. So everybody make sure to go follow me on X, Kevin Castley, and on YouTube, Superpowered Broadcasting and Superpowered Gaming. We had DEF CON video, Nuclear War Simulator, just hit 160,000 views, so that's pretty good. So let's try to get up to 500 subs on that channel. Let's go.
Kevin Castley is always the best promoter.
I didn't realize this was that moment. I'm actually I can stream Monday through Friday.
No, only Kevin can do that. I'm sorry. Sorry, cool. The moment's gone. The moment's over.
Self-promo time.
You can find Jake wherever corner is. I don't know. So
that's right.
You guys both have experience with Hippy Dippy. And since you've both been on Hippy Dippy, you've both been in debates, and you've been in debates probably both good, and you've been in debates probably both bad. You've been in situations, Hippy Dippy, where you've done probably good, and situations where you'd be like, maybe that isn't the best. I should have maybe rethought that. So my question to you guys is, what was the thing that surprised you most about these debate panels when you were first getting into them?
Well, I'll go first then. Okay. So here's the thing that surprised me most going into these is that they are, I was into debates and stuff before Hippy Dippy, but I really kind of became a debate bro through the Hippy Dippy sort of thing, and that was a lot of fun. And you got to bring like consistent Hippy Dippy back down the road. I mean, that's that is what the people want to see. Twitch fell off bigly since Hippy Dippy's been done, and a lot of online politics has fallen off. Basically, what I was probably the most surprised about, I guess, was kind of in a way the caliber that people bring to it. I mean, yeah, you could say, oh, it's like an internet space, they don't know what they're talking about or whatever. No, there's actually a lot of knowledgeable folks you interact with there from different basically all sides of the political spectrum. Sure, you have like some goobers who don't know what they're talking about, but then you get a lot of people where it's like, oh yeah, no, they're a formidable opponent. So that's
true. Jake, what are the deep political lessons you've taken away from your time on Hippy Dippy?
There aren't very many quality right-wingers.
That's true.
There's very few of them that can have a conversation without like freaking out, and it's super fascinating when you get the few occasions that I've had with the Hippy Dippy to give a glowing review is that like 1 in 8, but that 1 out of 8, we have a good conversation. It's kind of nice. I've had some nice conversations with right wingers. I wish they would be a little more hinged, but I mean, what can you do?
Would we have the content that we have had from the Hippy Dippy podcast?
That's the thing. We were gonna have Hake on tonight, for goodness sake. One of the brightest minds that we have in the space, and we were going to. He sadly dropped. He forgot he had a plane ride. So he couldn't be here today. We also lost some other brave souls. We lost American Nacho, old time a member of the show, and we also lost Loner Box. He pulled out because he's a cuck bastard. That's all the reason he pulled out. I love
American Nacho at January 6th.
Can't believe Loner Box would do this.
Maybe a little bit as a joke.
You kind of just wander. You just kind of wander. Well, I was at January 6th too. I stormed the Capitol. Build the wall. I was chanting that.
A little different.
I was chanting that. I was chanting build the wall. I was storming. I had the buffalo horns on. I was that guy. So, Lycan, how you been, man? How have you been? It's been forever since I've talked to you one-on-one.
It's been a hot minute, man. I've been doing well. Just came back from a nice little Christmas break. Got a puppy on the way home, and yeah, things are good.
What type of puppy? Is it a Boston cute puppy Terrier. Or an ugly puppy?
I mean, some people think Boston Terriers look like shit. I think they're the cutest dogs in the world. Second tier French Bulldogs, but what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? So, Lycan, I wanted to pose the same question to you. What surprised you most about debate panels when you first got into them?
I mean, I'd been around Twitch for so long that really, I don't think there was anything that surprised me. I think what surprised me is how popular they ended up being a little bit. Like, more so than just people coming to watch their favorite people. A lot of folks have blown up on smaller panels and whatnot. So I guess the amount of value that people found in them, that was a little surprising. But overall, nothing else. I mean, the fact that they're complete shit shows 9 times out of 10, yeah, that is not surprising whatsoever, especially with the types of folks this space cultivates.
Well,
but it's kind of fun though, right?
It was funny that you used the word value and then said they're shit shows.
Who gets the value out of a shit show? Same one. When you go to like a wrestling match, you saw somebody thrown out the ring, thrown through a table, everyone's cheering. You're getting some out of it.
Okay, there's something. The wrestling thing. Not real competition sometimes, Dylan.
Look, the voting system here is
not real.
What do you mean not real? It's the most
Wait, I'm supposed to die.
No,
it got better.
It's the best. Everyone knows it's the best. What name one scandal we've had with the voting system here at Hippy Dippy? Exactly. You can't name one.
Haven't had.
Exactly. We never had one. Never had one. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Look, for those of you, since there's been some questions, okay, from some libtards about the transparency process here when it comes to how the votes work, don't worry. We have 3 well-chosen, unbiased judges who then take their votes and put it before a committee, that send it over to a transition group, then put it before a board, then transition it over to a analyst group to go through the numbers, balance all the credit, make sure that everything is above board before sending it to another board before the Dylan Burns TV Board of Investors, and then back to the 3 judges for review. Our process is clear, it's transparent, it's easy to understand, everybody knows it.
No one is missing the fact that you're sending it to your investors so that they, with the capitalist financial incentives, can say, well, we need this person to stay on because they've got the sob story, they're going to bring more
I don't know what you're talking about. Our investors make brilliant decisions about who is the smartest debate guy. They do not at all just look at who brings the most views at the exact moment and then choose they're the winners. They don't do that.
Yeah, that's the finalist on Top Chef with the runny creme brulee with a burnt top getting to win over the person who did a perfect.
CTV was analytically on point when he debated Destiny, okay? And the judges were correct when they made the decision. I think we all know that. But besides us all
forgot about that fucking Nightmare Massacre bullshit.
That CTV
this level is so dark.
Destiny.
Oh my God.
I know. It's hard. I think a lot of us suppressed it because it was almost traumatic in nature. And that's what I wanted to bring over to the next question is, what was the Hippy Dippy event that surprised you guys the most or left the biggest impression on you?
It's a little bad.
CTV whimpering into his moonshine jar, and you were like, I don't know, should we do a wellness check? That one.
He did fall out of his chair, didn't he?
It was pretty wild at the end of that one.
Well, that just shows that he's a true man. And if you don't pass out drunk on stream once, are you a true man? Like it. What about you? What was your favorite Hippy Dippy or most surprising Hippy Dippy moment?
My most surprising, to make this about me, my most surprising was that I didn't get called out on a bunch of bullshit when I did that panel with Demon Mama and what's her name? Eldritch Mother. She changes her name all the time. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
I don't remember either.
That one. There was some woke shit getting talked about, and I was going a little more. It was earlier in my progressive days, so I wasn't as woke as I am now. But the fact that I didn't get caught on that shit surprised the hell out of me. But I think it was the cooking method. I did the debate tactic where I cooked a lobster and no one knew what to say to me.
Gotcha. So when Lycan got away with his bigotry was his most surprising moment. Kevin, what was your most surprising moment? What was the moment that left the biggest impression on you?
Yeah, I would say Alex Stein.
Who's on tonight, by the way? Alex Stein is on tonight.
He is on, and he's a funny guy. I mean, steak and shrimp on a blimp. He's got some good lines. I've watched some of his rap. He's a pretty funny guy. I would say, I didn't know who he was when he came on the panel, and that panel got over 1 million views across channels. It was kind of big at the time, and I was flabbergasted when he said, "Are we in NATO with Russia, Kevin? Are we in NATO with Russia, Kevin?" And I'm just like, NATO is opposed to Russia, and he's like, "Oh, okay, so we're in an alliance with Russia," and I'm just like, dude, are you stupid? Like, what? How? What's even going on here? So for me, the sort of flabbergasted moment that stands out to me in the saga of Hippy Dippy, which I was a part of at least, was getting exposed that Alex Stein had thought that Russia was in NATO. that was just silly.
So let's go through. By the way, if anybody's curious as to what was my favorite Hippy Dippy moment, my favorite trifecta of matches was the Kevin Cassidy Rob Noor matches, because they just tore each other apart, yelled at each other to high heaven. I also the Hippy Dippy screw job, of course, is some of the deepest lore that of the political community of its era. But now I want to go through today's guests, because a lot of you guys have had run-ins with some of these people, so I wanted to get you guys' opinion on people. So Vosh is going to be on here tonight. Vosh, of course, being a veteran of the space. Do you think there's anybody on tonight's panel that could give him trouble, especially as a former Hippy Dippy champion who had his belt taken from him due to his inactivity and general laziness as a communist?
I think it's gonna be Aircraft Sparky. I think he's really gonna.
I think so too.
Have a flu game type situation, and he's gonna take some. I don't know. Take some.
I think Sparky is gonna.
Man.
I unironically do think Sparky might give people trouble tonight, because the problem is though, when people come at you, you ever see like awkward fighters give like the best fighters in the business like give them trouble because they're throwing angles at them they just never expected. And if Aircraft Sparky's down there, he might throw an angle that these guys never thought about before. You know what I mean? Like, what about JFK organize? You don't know what he might throw. I mean, he's a black swan event, Aircraft Sparky.
Oh yeah, no, like there's potential lizard people territory coming up there, and I don't know if Vosh is necessarily prepared to handle that. I mean, Vosh is a seasoned debater. Vosh, he's got some good content. I actually, believe it or not, a lot of people probably wouldn't kind of expect this of me. I actually watch Vosh mostly every day because he's a funny guy. I watch conservatives, I watch socialists, etc. As far as like left content creators go, Vosh is like, he's up there in terms of caliber of his his wit and his debate skills. But as you say, Dylan, you're right. Sparky, I've debated Sparky before. I debated Vosh too on one of the panels. Sparky's the kind of guy who he'll just say some stuff that like you don't even necessarily know how to process it because you're like, wait, is this TOS? Is this, how do I respond to this? Like, because that's at least for me when he was debating me on my channel, I'm like, wait, do I pull this or do I respond? Because he was justifying a genocide against every Afghan. He said that he wanted to bomb every Afghan village, after 9/11, and I'm just
he pulled a Howard Stern after 9/11.
And I'm just like, but people thought of me back in the day as like the most kind of super hawkish dude or whatever.
I mean, you did say you wanted to nuke North Korea, Kevin.
We're just at the beginning so far.
Specifically, their nuclear sites. He's talking about firebombing, carpet bombing villages.
That is much more reasonable. I hadn't considered that.
So, and which, by the way, that's not even, I mean, we talked,
it's not even my
position anymore. But yeah, you're right. Back in the day, I used to be a little bit more hawkish. But Sparky's an isolationist, and he's more hawkish than I was when I was a neocon.
So his position on God was fucking insane. And that's another thing I want to throw out there is, the first topic is not aid to Ukraine. Okay, I know I'm here, so everybody thinks that's all it's going to be, and that's what mostly it's going to be because I'm here. But it's American foreign aid. And this is something that I'm curious about. There might be some disagreements about the people who are on the left-wing side of this. I know Kraut is very, very, very anti-Hamas, and I wonder what their
left-wing.
Kraut would consider himself like a left-wing liberal.
Kraut's like a social democrat. Like,
okay, remember we're talking about let's keep it relative to Aircraft Sparky here. Okay, let's remember.
He's like an ultra
definitely Aircraft Sparky.
We got Aircraft
Sparky. Level is stingy on ammo.
I think we got Lecture Fan. I think Redneck is going to be on today as well. Actually, let's read the full.
Why am I not in that shit box? Are you kidding me? Holy shit! What a group.
Man, you want to be on any future events?
No, I don't. No. I want those three at some point.
You want those three specifically?
Dude, they're so unhit. Anyway,
we've got. Let me just read through today's guests so people realize how big of an event today is going to be. We got Kraut, Vosh, Adam Something, Alex Stein, Chud Logic, Pisco95, Counterpoints, IRI, Pixels Mixer, Electrofan, Stardust, James from the Internet, American Nacho, sorry he pulled out, Matty Cakes, Anarchy, Jeb Tan, Joe Lewis, Preacher 570, KF Logan, Sprouticus the Turk, More Perfect Union, Aircraft Sparky, Binks Redneck, and Critically Thinking Veteran. What a lineup, man.
CTV.
CTV. I think he's going to take it.
CTV, it's awesome.
I think he's going to take it.
You can't do Hippy Dippy without CTV.
You can't do CTV. You can't. You know what he's doing these days on Twitch? Making Lego sets.
We're doing pistol runs.
Man. That is good content. That is a good time.
You know
Wait,
what
does
else
he do
is fun?
Lego Fortnite? Because they just dropped that. I don't know. Like, I still gotta check out Lego Fortnite.
You know what?
down?
I haven't. I don't know if you go talk to CTV. You guys become you guys go play Lego Fortnite. I think you guys
Lego
would make
Fortnite,
a great.
yeah.
You guys would make a great tag team. Okay, so going forward, I want to ask you guys. Seeing this big lineup, I mean, we got people like Adam, something, Vosh, Kraut. Who's going to be standing at the end of all of this?
I think. You mean final?
Yeah, who's going to be the final?
Yeah, I know who it is.
Now, let me give you guys some information about how voting is going to be working today. Because due to the last-second cancellations, it makes it more difficult because we did have a few last-second cancellations. How voting is going to work is we vote out the same person on one side as the other side. So 2 lefties, 2 righties, in order to keep the conversation balanced, so we don't have 7 people all telling one righty why he's a moron or something, or like 7 righties telling one lefty that they're a moron after the righties dominate the panel as usual. Point is, we're going to be voting out like 2 people per round, sometimes 4 people per 2 people each side per round. Sometimes it'll be 6, sometimes it'll be less. That's how the voting system works. So sometimes you'll come out 6 people gone, 2 left. Sometimes it'll just be 4 people gone.
Yeah. I think, well, I mean, I think the bias is skewed against Kraut, but here's the thing about Kraut. I talked with Kraut. Kraut's a pretty educated guy. He's also pretty good at debate. I think he's like kind of a dark horse going into this. I think Adam, something, and Vosh are kind of known as, very,
The only thing I know about Kraut is that he went on stream on Vosh's stream once and like started screaming at him. So I guess we'll see. It's literally all I know.
generally informed debaters
Vosh would be
on
the
the more
traditional
left
bet, wouldn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like Vosh is like the favorite going in, but I feel like on the merits of their argument and on the logic of their argument, regardless of your actual political morality, I feel like Kraut's going to kill it. But I also think he's probably not going to make it to the end because people are like going to call him a Zionist or something and say, no, we don't like him.
Well, the problem that Kraut and Adam something, a lot of people and their ilk face is, sadly, they were born with a debilitating illness called European. And that means that their time zones are very different, and that probably means they're going to also tap out early. So that is something that's going to hurt them. They're going to, even if they don't tap out early, they're going to get tired. Those guys want out early, probably. They don't want to stay for 2.5 hours. So I'm betting against the Europeans, personally.
Yeah, I think CTV is going to pull it in from the right, though. I think CTV is going to be the last.
That's another question also. We have people come in every round, and so that means the people who come in the last round have an unfair advantage. And I'm telling you guys now, that's why I put a lot of the bigger content creators at the start, is because, you know, you want to give them more opportunities to get eliminated because they have a natural advantage. But I mean, I think there's a good chance we're going to see throughout this whole event, Vosh, another round, Vosh, another round, Vosh, another round. But I would bet towards Vosh. And if I'm not betting towards Vosh, the other person I would bet towards, honestly, and I'm looking at this list here, and I'm thinking Lecture Fan. Honestly, I'm thinking Lecture Fan.
Because you have to keep a righty? Me too.
Listen, I think this is going to get upended by, and I'm kind of a little biased here because I know the guy, I like the guy. But I'm going to say that Pisco is going to be the one. He's not been huge.
By the way,
really.
I do need to throw out there, Pisco, Lecture Fan, they're going to, I think if Lecture Fan can last long enough, they should be facing each other on the Colorado Trump case. Lawyer should
I've debated Pisco one-on-one before. He's a competent debater. He's underrated. That's a good point. That's a good point. I would say Pisco.
Lecture Fan has to survive to get there, and that could be a challenge because that's like 3 rounds. He's got to get through. He's got to get through what I think the war on Christmas, aid to Ukraine, and then make it to the Colorado case. This is a tough task for Lecture Fan.
Yeah, no, I think the audience is in for an absolute treat tonight. I think the roster is peak Hippy Dippy in that you've got this perfect. It's this archetypal Hippy Dippy roster in the sense that you've got this blend of very competent, well-read folks, and then also the blood sports mongers and everyone in between. and they're gonna duke it out, and we're gonna see who's left standing. But I think Kraut's gonna perform above average, and I think CTV's gonna do the same.
I do also want to say though, this is an anniversary event. This isn't for any title. This is just to say you won. So I hope nobody takes it too seriously. I mean, there's only $10,000 on the line, so I don't think anybody should be terribly invested. But I do want to put forward, is there any predictions for tonight? Any predictions outside of who you guys think are going to win? Is there anything that you're expecting to see tonight? Any talking points that are going to be dropped? Anybody who's going to, I don't want to use the word, what's a word for spaz that isn't ableist? What's a,
I guess it's in good faith, I guess.
I'm asking because I want to know, I want to use it in the future. That's why I'm asking.
I think we're going to see, I'm just looking at the list. Here are some predictions. One, I think Chud is going to say something both racist and homophobic. I'm going to
probably. I already have $50 on that. Who wants to take my
left or right?
We put them on the left.
Okay. So what happens when there's actual lefties up there and Chud Logic also? Does the vote swap?
The vote does not swap, but they get to fight each other.
Fun. All right. Because I think him and Lecture Family make good teammates.
I think it would. So we actually have some call-in videos from some people who couldn't make it to today's event for any number of reasons. You know, they had livelihoods or wanted to keep their brain cells or whatever other stupid reasons. Maybe they have children. I don't know. But they couldn't come to today's event, but they were kind enough to call in. Now, you guys won't, I'm not going to be sharing screens. I'm just going to be playing the audio for everyone. So if you guys want to watch it, you have to check out the stream. But the first message is from everyone's favorite conservative, Rob Norm.
Hey, Dylan, everyone on the Hippy Dippy, just wanted to wish you a happy new year. Thank you for the invite. Sorry I couldn't make it. I have to go work. Let me translate for your lefty audience.
Rob Norris
That's where you
on
go
this.
do things that are of value to society.
What a blessing.
And get paid money in our capitalist system. And then I also have to spend time with my family, or to your lefty audience, your roommates that you still live in their basement. But I wish you well. I hope that you continue to remain safe if you head over to Ukraine. And it'll be fun destroying you lefties in the coming years, including this new one coming in 2024. Thanks so much. Have a great show.
Wow, what a lovely message from Rob Noor. He truly knows that we're just dumb lefties ready to get wrecked. I think
destroying us, but has a day job.
Destroying us with a day job. It is very wholesome.
I just want to know what government building he's about to storm. Like, he's sitting in his car, he's got his warm clothes on. You know, it is December, almost, you know, January, right? So he's getting feisty. His time of year is coming around.
Probably some like municipal building in New Hampshire. I don't know if he's in New Hampshire. I just know there's some very radical libertarians out in New Hampshire.
He walks into the police station with his phone camera already rolling, baby. He's ready to soft sit.
Okay. One more message from somebody who many consider scorned by the Hippy Dippy brand by an event known as the Hippy Dippy Screwjob, the content creator known as Demon Mama, who has recorded a message, the first Hippy Dippy related message recorded for the public since the Hippy Dippy Screwjob done over a year ago, when the rightful winner got the belt due to our legitimate and brilliant judges who make zero mistakes ever. Anyway, let me play you guys the message there at home.
Angels and devils, debate bros and drama frogs, Bible thumpers and fedora tippers alike. My name is Demon Mama, the first demon-type streamer. But you already knew that, didn't you? Tonight, I am honored to welcome you all to the very first Hippy Dippy Spectacular, a truly one-of-a-kind mass throwdown designed just for those of you out there who miss the type of fireworks we all used to set off in this particular corner of the internet. My history with the show goes way back to the beginning, and real Hippy Dippy old heads will remember that as one of the first contestants ever on Hippy Dippy, I always brought the fire to Dylan's ring. But tonight, I will simply be lighting the fuse to the spectacular, explosive, incredible show that Dylan has prepared for you all after a much-needed break, documenting an ongoing war. Anyway, it's been about a year and a half since the last Hippy Dippy event, but all that changes tonight. Since the old days of the show, you, viewers, have witnessed faces come and go, entire careers rise, fall, transform before your very eyes. The Hippy Dippy has always been a vibrant crossroads for talented folks from all over the streaming world. Tonight will be no different. Excitable newbies hungry for glory, returning contestants with a bone to pick, winners fighting to hold on to their legacy. And there's so many questions. Will Vosh have the horsepower to be the head horse in a race with so many young and virile contestants? Did Destiny lose the championship belt in the divorce? Does CTV debate better drunk, high, or both? When is Sparky gonna bring back those puppets? Is Kraut better from a jar or a bag? Will anyone make it to the end at all, or does Dylan McMahon Burns have a couple of tricks up his sleeve for all of you? That, lovely viewers, is for all of you to find out for yourselves tonight on the Hippy Dippy Spectacular. Now, I want to see some energy in chat. I want to see some likes on this video. And most of all, I want to see some donations flowing, because tonight is going to be a truly fantastic show made all for you.
That's true.
That was a lovely message.
Oh, we have nothing
from Demon
God.
Mama. Oh my goodness, that was very nice. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't it was given to me right before. That was giving me like 30 minutes. What a lovely
It's
message.
a melee build now.
My goodness,
It was a trust fall and it worked.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it started off kind of cringe, but then it ended kind of hype. So
I thought that was awesome. And you know, we haven't done this in over a year and a half. So, you know, there might be some bumps in the road. I am a little rusty, but I'm going to do my best to keep everybody in line tonight. Any last messages you guys want to give out to the world? And again, thank you, Demon Mama, for the lovely message. It really did touch my heart. Any messages you guys want to give to everybody before we start the show?
I just want to say that we're glad to have you back, you know, from the war zone, you know, that you've got a whole new suitcase full of patches from your war tourism. And it's
they're all on the wall right there, I swear. They're all on the wall.
And it's good to have you back doing this content, man. It's been a year since the last Hippy Dippy podcast, and the world needs it now more than ever as we are gripped.
So you're saying that this should not be a one-off. This should be the start of a glorious return.
You gotta bring it back. Like,
do people miss Hippy Dippy? Do people really miss it?
Yeah. The people miss Hippy Dippy across communities, across politics. Twitch wants Hippy Dippy back. X wants Hippy Dippy
back. You stream on Twitch.
YouTube.
I do.
Do you believe that? Do you won't bullshit?
Do I believe that everybody wants Hippy Dippy back?
I
do not believe that.
There are some people who are particularly.
However, Hippy Dippy. The people want Hippy Dippy.
I haven't always had a bad time with Hippy Dippy. In fact, I'd say personally, I have a good time when I'm on it. When it's not a shit show. And it's most often not a shit show. You've gotten a lot better at it over the years, and I think a year and a half break is exactly what you needed to get fresh again, and to feel it again.
People could see at the end of it, I was getting sick of it. I wasn't enjoying it.
You're burning out on shit. Fuck it. I mean, I think it was good for you, and I'm also very glad to see that you're back and healthy and stuff, man.
Awesome. And hey,
absolutely.
I think it'll be easier if I did it like maybe once a month, and I think I should be able to manage it that way, because we were doing it once a week for like 2 years. That was a bizarre schedule. Thank you everybody for coming on. We have Superpower Broadcasting, also known as Kevin Cassie, Lycan, also known as the best cook on Twitch, and Actual Jake, where you can find on both Twitch and YouTube. Anything else you guys want to shout out quick?
Cook.
Enjoy the show, everybody.
Have a great time.
Hippy Dippy hype.
Bye, everybody. Okay, Danabo, you can snatch them all out, or you guys can just leave. And Danabo, time to bring in all the first round. Let's bring them all in. Let's get this shit on the road.
Hello.
Welcome in, everybody. Come on in. The water's fine. We got seats for everyone. For some people, it's going to be a long night. For some people, it's going to be an awfully short night. So I hope you all are ready for a good interlocuting of ideas, taken with a light heart when it comes to the formation of the show. I just want to throw out there first that almost everybody's going to get kicked out at some point. Everybody's going to be thrown over the rope. Don't take it too personally. The format is mostly for shits and giggles and to include as many people and to enjoy the event. And I want to thank you all for participating in today's event. Just quickly, we'll go around the room, introduce everybody. Let's introduce yourself quickly, and we'll get straight into it because we have a tight schedule today. So we're going to start with Adam Something. Introduce yourself quickly.
Hi, I am Adam Something. Nice to see you all.
Burns is in.
Wow, that was perfect.
I have that channel with those videos on YouTube.
He does videos with trains, lots of trains.
How long ago is
Aircraft
this?
Sparky.
I love Adam something.
Hey everybody, I'm Aircraft Sparky. Yeah, here to pull out puppets, maybe. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Fabian
Hippy Dippy
Liberty.
is just good for
Yeah, I'm
raw
Fabian
entertainment.
Liberty,
You know, it's blood
anarcho-capitalist.
sports.
You can find me pretty much everywhere as Fabian
Sometimes
Liberty.
blood sports is fun.
Fantastic. Kraut.
Morally corrupt. Hey, morning. Dylan's editor just woke me up. I don't know what this is.
Fantastic. Lecture fan.
Yeah, I'm lecture fan. I'm a lawyer, practicing lawyer.
Welcome
I
to the
stream on
stream.
Twitch at night. I do politics. I'm conservative. Find me on X, YouTube, you name it.
Fantastic. And Vouch, I think.
Yeah, I'm Vouch. I'm here to wrestle up some good discourse.
Wrestle up them discourses. Anarchy, how's it going?
G'day, it is a very tired
Oh, there.
Australian. I make history videos on YouTube and fight people on Twitter. Hello.
Do you by chance have like a VTube avatar or something you can put up?
No, unfortunately, I do not have a YouTuber app.
Okay, well I'll forgive it because you're Australian and that's enough of a burden already. More Perfect Union.
Hey everybody, I'm the More Perfect Union. I sometimes stream on Twitch and other channels. I'm a constitutional conservative, bane of all leftist existence, and glad to be here. By the way, it's nice to see that you managed to avoid getting shot.
So far, at least. Okay, don't count me out yet. So we've got a great show lined up tonight.
Jinx it.
Yeah, as much as I disagree.
Knock on wood, jackass.
I don't want to see anybody get hurt.
I'll be fine. No one's ever got hurt in a war. So we're gonna get into the first topic. The first topic today, speaking of war, has to do with American aid to allies and whether the United States should continue to provide aid to allies. This, of course, is being talked about a lot because of the over $100 billion aid package to, while primarily Ukraine, also includes aid to Israel, also includes aid to Taiwan and some security investments in the Indo-Pacific region, primarily put there to counter Chinese naval expansion. And my question to all of you guys is foreign aid a worthy investment from the United States? And you can talk about any of these aid packages or any parts of the recent aid packages that you want to in talking about it. But of course, remember, we have short amounts of time, so try to keep things punchy, okay? And we're going to leave it to the room. Who wants to go first?
I'll do it. Fuck it.
Okay, Sparky.
Alrighty. Plain and simple. We concern ourselves more with other countries' borders than our own. Until we take care of our own borders, no one should get a dime.
Corrupt, bankrupt man.
Okay, well, there you go. Anybody wants to take that?
I think
it devolves into hardly controlled blood sports. Yeah, that's expected. That's like basically every debate panel ever. That's basically what I expected.
I think foreign aid is where it meets, where you can make it clearly defined alignment with our objectives and goals as a nation, protecting and projecting peace or democracies or fair trade, reasonable fair trade. I think that you can make a case for that. I think the Ukraine issue, while I'm generally supportive of anybody who is against Russia, I think the problem that a lot of people are starting to feel with Ukraine aid is that there's not enough oversight. The chances, the amount of corruption that exists within their government structure is still pretty significant, and there hasn't been a good accounting for it. So I think we need to have good controls over the audit process, regardless of whoever we provide aid to, and we need to make sure that we have a very finite, defined mission objective before we give anybody money.
Okay. Can we throw it to somebody who maybe takes a different perspective than these two? I don't want to just have all the same people agreeing one over the other.
It would be my pleasure.
Okay.
No country is an island. We all benefit from global stability. International relations and diplomacy are a preferable substitute to war. There is no way to wall yourself off from the rest of the world, and so long as the rest of the world is a part of the one that we're on, we need to be concerned with its stability. Foreign aid is a great idea. We should do it. We should do lots of it. We should ingratiate countries to ourselves, make ourselves look strong, the shining city on the hill. It's good for America. It's good for everyone. Of course, you got to do it for the right reasons. I think Israel is making particularly poor use of our money right now. But generally speaking, yeah, there's no way to just wall yourself off. The world comes crumbling down due to instability. That hits us too. So we got to be responsible stewards of the power we have, which is, at this moment, quite a bit.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting to see how socialists always have this same notion where conservatives or libertarians or limited government types don't want the government to do something. And so the claim always becomes that, you know, and this goes back, you know, Hayek noticed this, right? It's like, it's as if the socialist believes that we don't want to produce grain, right? The idea is a false dichotomy. It's a fallacious argument that
Didn't Vosh just say that we should do the thing that produces good? Where did that come from?
Vosh is making this idea that there is either we wall ourselves off from the world or we spend money that is completely wasted in inefficacious ways towards foreign aid, which is which can be done better via charity and private industry, and by, as you know, More Perfect Union stated, if you're going to have a minimalistic state, you can protect your trade routes and certain things of that nature. But this idea that we're going to spend hundreds of billions on corrupt nations that don't feed their people, and we just kind of do it year over year over year, or we're going to fund never-ending wars without any accountability or, you know, almost a complete lack of oversight, to the tune of $500,000 for every upper middle-class family, is absurd and stupid.
In Europe, we had something that we called the peace dividend, which was when the Cold War ended. We assumed there would never be a large land war in Europe ever again. As a consequence, almost all countries here cut their military budgets, and then we either invested the surplus money into social development, social programs, or we cut taxes. And now we all have egg on our face. There's only very few countries in Europe that didn't cut their military spending, like Greece, Norway, and Poland. They don't have egg on their face. The brutal reality that we in Europe face right now is that we have to build up our militaries and our defenses again, that we have to be able to face off an aggressor country that wants to divide up Europe into spheres of influence.
Also, I'd like to point something out here.
Well, can we let Kraut finish his statement quick, and then we'll throw it over to Anarchy?
Okay. In this moment of crisis, we have no choice but to ask the Americans to send us weapons, because we don't even have enough of our own. Because we neglected defense industry to such a point that it's proving difficult to gear up the factories again to make basic ammunitions. We're not just taking aid from the Americans, we're also taking from the Canadians, the Australians, the Japanese, the Koreans. The Koreans have been especially gracious, giving us 1 million artillery shells for the Ukrainians, which is, and I want to point this out, the aid isn't money, it's literally physical shells, it's guns, it's tanks, stuff like that. And the only counter proposal that I can make to those who criticize it is, yes, we're currently taking your aid, but we will be gearing up our own defense again. We will be coming back up under our 2 feet, because it is very clear to us here now that the peace dividend is over.
Right, I'd like to jump in quickly into this.
Quickly though, Anarchy, I did say Anarchy would go next, and then we'll see what he says, and then maybe you. Okay, go.
Okay, rather, I'm going to sort of be a bit testy. Maybe it's just because I got it's first thing in the morning. But I find it ironic about being lectured on the deliberate reliance on the government to do things, and how self-proclaimed anarcho-capitalists can't recognize what's called a good investment. You've completely defanged the largest geopolitical threat in Europe, or at least heavily damaged it. You've rendered it completely incapable of challenging the United States in the world hegemon game, if you want to use the term, without a single American citizen who didn't volunteer for Ukraine directly dying, not a single active duty US military person beyond special operations who we don't know about being deployed, and you've spent what amounts to just under 2% of your entire budget for 1 year. You've spent less than 20% of your discretionary defense budget to destroy something like 3,000 tanks, 5,000 APCs, kill 100,000 Russians, and you've done basically nothing. You've done nothing. In fact, you've saved money. The other big issue for me is when you're talking about aid to Ukraine in terms of material aid, A lot of the weapons and stuff that the United States has sent have been from their reserves and stockpiles. You are paying people to maintain these. You are paying private companies to maintain these using government money. They are no longer needed to be maintained in those boneyards and those storage facilities because guess what? They're out doing what they were built to do, which is kill Russians. Now, on the next side of things, you're going to need to replace that. Europe is going to need to replace all the aid
but I do want to say, just do try to tend to wrap it up because we only have so many people and so many time.
Okay, in which case, let me put it this way. Long story short, all that money is going back to the private sector. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, they're going to make a killing. They're going to employ Americans. And those Americans are going to pay taxes, they're going to spend money, they're going to buy shit. And that's going to stimulate the American economy. This is a net benefit on every level for the Americans, even if you take out all the other factors. It's just a win.
After Adam something, may I respond to this absurd retard attempting to explain economics?
Adam, I'm gonna ask to you wait a moment. Have Fabian just directly respond to make it easier. Okay.
Have fun.
Yeah. Super quick, right? So the idea that you attack the idea of an anti-war, to be pro-war for Lockheed Martin really shows that you don't know what ANCAP is. But setting all of that aside, the idea that it is a good investment, that we can look at how much money is spent and then calculate it afterwards is, a very poor misunderstanding of economic theory. The market is the best way to allocate resources. The market is the one that has price control. The state cannot solve the economic calculation problem. The state is incapable of solving the local knowledge problem. And so that money is going to be wasted. And of course, it's going to end up in the coffers of fucking Lockheed Martin, and no ANCAP or most Americans fucking want that. And the idea that, oh, well, don't worry, it'll create jobs. I mean, that might work. Job creation might work on fucking, 1980s and 1990s conservatives that would vote for this dumb idea of like, it'll create jobs, but it doesn't work on me, buddy. Like, no.
Private economy enjoys when
war.
private corporations make profits.
Okay, so Anna Markey, if you wanted to respond to that, we can give you an opportunity to respond to that, or we can just throw it straight over to Adam something.
State money. Like, shut up. Like, so stupid.
No, it's a straightforward calculation. The United States is spending, proportion to what it has, nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's barely spending anything compared out of its total budget. And what it's generating in terms of a geopolitical result, you're getting your money's worth easily. And yeah, sure, you can talk about the geopoliticality. We've got photographs. We've got photographs of.
Can I jump in on this?
That's not how basic economics works.
Wait, okay, wait a second. Okay. Adam something, I love you, but I'm going to have Vosh quickly comment, then I'm throwing it to you. It's just as part of the same chain.
My handsome friend Adam something, whom I cede every moment but this one. If we're going to center the discussion, it should be on reality, not fantasy. Every country on the world has a state. Every country in the world's state manages its own resources, including war. The idea that the argument here would be about, oh, what if the private sector did for it? What if the market decided? Shut up. The market decided. The system exists. We live in a global economy. It turns out corporations benefit from a state that protects them.
That's not
that
an
establishes
argument.
a system by which they're defended. Yeah, the argument that I'm making is that you don't have one. What is this? Like, can you point to any place in the world where the state has? Well, hold.
We only have so much time. Wait. We only have so much time. I'm going to let Vosh finish his question, and then I'll give you Fabian. And I'm so sorry, like 10, 50 seconds to respond. Then I have to throw it to Adam. He's just been waiting patiently.
I'm feeling up my crystal ball right now, and I'm foreseeing 57 questions that are answered. But what if we let the private market do more in some abstract, nebulous way that's never been done because it doesn't work?
Doing it.
I cede everything to Adam somebody with something interesting to say on the subject.
Well, thank you.
I ceded.
Of course.
I ceded. The conscious move.
Wait. I said I would give Fabian 10 seconds to respond. He gets 10 seconds to respond, then Adam.
Yeah, of course the socialist wants us to have more government. Of course the ANCAP wants us to have less government. Except I didn't make the argument from a non-government anarchist perspective. You just randomly said dumb shit to attack ANCAP because you have no fucking argument.
Okay, Adam.
Number 3 of 7.
All right, so Fabian sounds a bit like those like Twitter tanky lefties but he just uses market instead of like a communist manifesto or something. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so
make a fucking argument.
Yeah, I'm on it. Okay, so just be patient. So the arguments for supporting Ukraine, for example, from the pure business perspective, I mean, I think it's a no-brainer, right? So one of the main export materials of the U.S. is security and stability, which the U.S. accomplishes through its military, and this, of course, has a number of easy to see positive business effects. Peace and stability, it turns out, is good for a business. It is good for investment, right? This is a no-brainer. Also, the Ukraine war just happens to be a great advertisement for the U.S. weapons industry. You know, when you see those thousands of Russian hardware burning, just like torched by not even top-notch U.S. hardware, but like just like 20, 30-year-old stuff. That's great for the U.S. economy. Now, you might be salty about the fact that I don't know, Raytheon or whatever, or like very heavily state adjacent / these like mammoth corporations. But yeah, that's how the economy works currently. That's how you achieve growth. You know, so if you're not unless you're some kind of degrowth weirdo, then you should be happy about this, right? The other thing is weapon aid. One second. Weapon aid. When they say, okay, we sent Ukraine, $5 billion worth of aid, that's not $5 billion. That's $5 billion worth of aid calculated based on the pre-existing stuff that you guys send them, right? So if we send them like 500 M113 APCs or something, well, then that's calculated into a dollar-based number. Even though those vehicles, they have been used by the U.S. military before, they've been retired, they have served their time, and now you're just passing them off to someone. That comes out as a monetary item on a budget sheet. Meanwhile, in reality, it doesn't really mean an actual expense for the U.S.
Okay, sorry, wait 1 second. I need to take a pro-business position as well. Hippy Dippy has made one change financially, and that is in between topics, the number one donor between topics will be able to ask the cast one question. If I'm going to bring back Hippy Dippy and herd these cats, I'm going to make money. I'm demonetized, okay? Continuing, I want to throw it over to, I'm sorry, Fabian, but you got a lot of back and forth. I want to make sure Lecture Fan gets to talk. Lecture Fan, and then Kraut, and I have MPU written, don't worry.
Well, I think this whole discussion is kind of missing the main point. I mean, Vosh started off by saying, oh, foreign aid, good, it can be good. And it's like, well, yeah, we've always done foreign aid. People always forget the entire reason we even have a federal government is to handle military foreign policy. But of course, nobody addressed aircraft Sparky's perfectly reasonable point, more perfect union's perfectly reasonable point. And so you're just glossing over these points where it's like, oh yeah, foreign aid, good. But it's like, we're broke for one, we don't have any money. Number two, everybody sort of agrees with that, and the Australian guy Anna Markey was perfectly correct to say it's a drop in the bucket. We spent $100 billion on Ukraine. We spend over $6 trillion on a federal budget, so it is a drop in the bucket. But you've got a problem here where we're broke. There's inflation out of control. We don't have our own border secure, so you can say that foreign aid is good, and I support foreign aid when it can be afforded, when we can pay for it, when it benefits United States national security, when foreign aid can be used to establish and prolong American military dominance, economic dominance, cultural dominance. So foreign aid can absolutely be good. But you're simply not going to get it with a GOP Congress, which we have right now, if you guys don't address the border and you left this, oh yeah, great, yeah, more foreign aid, and let's just leave the border open and let's not do anything to try to balance the budget. That's a loser argument.
How is the U.S. broke? Can you enlighten us, please?
Yeah, we're $34 trillion in debt and we're running $2 trillion deficits every year, and Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security are going bankrupt in 8 years, if you didn't know.
I just wanted to comment on the idea that we should let the markets decide which country deserves military aid and which one doesn't. There was a time in which that was actually legal and permitted before the First World War. Corporations, companies, you name it, could go out there into a conflict zone and decide, hey, we want to support this certain party in a war because we want that party to win. There's a very famous example of this. The British textile and cotton weaving industry bought a warship for the Confederacy, wanted the Confederacy to win the Civil War because slavery was very profitable for their industry and they wanted to keep the profits of that. Another example is not so famous.
Yeah, and the French helped us in the revolution. Like, what the fuck is your point?
A group, well, the French were a government and not a corporation. A group of Wall Street.
Or Starlink deciding whether or not to turn shit on or off in Ukraine. It's like, we're not that far from things going back in that direction again, and I don't think this is a very good idea.
bankers gave huge war loans to the Japanese in the Japanese-Russian War because they wanted Korean railroads concessions. When you let
massive corporations, like, you ever read War is Hell by Smedley Butler?
When you let markets,
you have to calm down a bit, all right? Just lift the wine a bit, dude.
The decision to support a country, a conflict part of the war, is not a market decision. It is a political decision. It is a decision based on values, a decision based on ideas, on ideals, on what you believe in. If you let the market decide which side in the war deserves support, they will pick the side where they can get money out of. Who's to say that the corporation would not support Russia in return for like oil drilling and mining concessions in Siberia?
Also, wait, like, isn't Russia supposed to be like the nightmare of fucking ANCAPs? Like Russia basically stole hundreds of jets when the sanctions hit. Like they just like appropriated them. They appropriated Western property,
like
and they
Russia.
Hey, yeah, like, sure. And so you're now knocking them, and we're now knocking them out.
Sounds like you just.
We're now knocking them out. We're now knocking out Russia.
We only have so much time left in this round, so I want to make sure that Adam something gets to finish his statement, and then we get to get anybody that has anything left they want to quickly get out. So.
Sure. All right. So Fabian has that nice plague behind him saying property is liberty. Well, then Russia has violated the #1 golden rule of ANCAP-ism, I guess. Property. They stole Western property. They just appropriate everything. So now
I don't like Russia.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, good. So therefore you should be in support of sending Ukraine aid, because then we are. No, it's not retarded, really. I mean, if you think that's retarded, I mean, the problem is in your device, dude. Also, one thing.
Not liking Russia doesn't mean I have to support fucking stealing money from the American people.
And that's what I want to. What?
This place is a killing field. The stench of death fills the air. So many of your comrades have fallen. Whatever it was they came here for, you hope it was worth so many dead.
That's what I want to bring up. One point that I want to address: the unaccountable weapon transfers and corruption. Like, guys, like every fucking piece of equipment that gets sent to Ukraine is documented really solidly, and we know where those are. Like, it's not just like you're sending stuff into Ukraine, it fucking disappears. It doesn't work like that, actually. And if you actually look,
I want to add.
Okay, quickly.
I thought I'd be interrupting the other guys.
I want to make sure. I want to make sure after Vosh goes, we go MPU and Sparky, because they've been waiting for a little bit.
Alan, can I go quickly and brush?
I just want to say really quickly with respect to
yes, you can go.
It's a tough job, Dylan.
Continue. Yeah, sorry, I was telling the crowd he can go brush his teeth. Continue.
Right, home underpass. With regards to the previous topic, it's worth noting that the crisis we're currently having at our southern border is in large part a product of instability that we've either ignored or facilitated in Latin America. Our drug policies and the policies that we've had since lessening it have contributed to the rise and strength of the cartels, the instability in Latin America, a large part of foreign intervention, or at the very least complacency on our part. Likewise, the refugee crisis in Syria, direct product of our meddling. Everything that happened with Assad and his government, his predecessor, we had a lot to do with that. Now that's not to say that we deserve any. Well, hold your horses. No, you're learning the wrong lesson. The correct lesson that wise people take from this is that the affairs of other countries and their well-being reflect on our well-being. We're not an island. So if countries near us are prosperous and wealthy, we don't worry about refugees from Canada, do we? So what we should be concerned with is global stability. If we really are that great, and as a lover of America, I think we are, then we should try to see the world through. Make it a better place than it was when we were founded. Try to ensure, for our sake as well as theirs, that when changes are made, they're for everyone's betterment. Because if other things go poorly, if other countries fall apart, we do pay a price for that, both in the stability of our markets, the stability of our borders. We need to be concerned with their well-being, at least for selfish reasons. Now, humanitarian reasons, I think, are also pretty valid there, but if you're only concerned with the selfish ones, that's something that you should take in consideration.
Global stability, good. We agree. Global stability is good. We can agree on that.
MPU, I believe you've been waiting for quite a while.
Yeah, so I think Vosh would like to, give the world a Coke and teach us all how to sing.
I don't like Coke.
Well,
that's definitely not what he said.
Look, the problem with the southern border is that we have laws on the books that regulate immigration. Those laws are being violated by non-government agencies who bring people across the border. They coach them on how to say that they have a credible fear or threat. They're economic migrants, and they're not asylees, right? They're not asylum seekers. They're not valid asylum claims. 98% plus of the people who come across the border, the southern border, who are from Latin American countries, are not valid asylum seekers. And then on top of that, we have hundreds, if not thousands, of people who have come across the border who are known they're known to be affiliated with terror organizations. We have tens of thousands, I don't know. I think there was a Hamas person who tried to come through the northern border just like the last few days.
Got to lock that one down.
There's there are single Chinese men of military age, okay, who are coming through the southern border. You basically just have to get to Mexico, and then you basically can get into the United States for free, right? And then there's they're not even doing DNA testing. What?
What does this
Where are
have
you getting
to do
these
with
figures
Ukraine?
from? Like 98% are economic migrants and not asylums. Like, where are you getting those figures?
Did you get it from Facebook or something?
No, 98% of the people who go through asylum. This is what the federal government puts out. Okay.
Yeah, but are they either? Is there either such
Okay,
a
so
giant
I'm
crisis
gonna
that
have to
they
put a
can't
pin on
be
this.
documented at all?
I gotta put a pin on. I gotta put a
or
pin
do
on
we
this
know
because
exactly the percentage?
the time has ran out, and we do have a bunch of people waiting. Obviously, we're going through a bunch of people today, so I do need to do the 2 kicks, and I have gotten who is being kicked this round. So I'm gonna throw it out. I'll throw it out there, and I'm very sorry, Anarchy. This round, the judges have decided that you have been eliminated, probably because of your Australianness. They are slightly bigoted. I am very sorry. I hope to see you next time. You have a good one, okay, man?
Fair enough.
Okay, bye-bye. Bye-bye. I love you. We're gonna play Hell Let Loose later. Bye. Okay.
Be well.
And the other one is Sparky. I'm very sorry, Sparky. You were thrown over the top rope.
So Sparky made the best point. Sparky, you made the best point of anybody on this topic, by the way.
And got to talk the least. That's okay. Thank you for having me. Have a good night.
Okay, you have a good one, man.
Balls to open.
Yeah, he did have the balls to open, and I do respect that. I do want to throw that out there. Yeah.
No, that was good. That's
By the way, apparently the judge told me it wasn't an easy decision. They liked everybody. Okay, so we're bringing in 2 more people. It is going to be Chud Logic and Alex Stein. If any of you are familiar with Alex Stein from his AOC antics or his new show that he has. By the way, if anybody wants to get the mid-portion questions, you donate now. Largest donations will be coming up after the next break. We'll be asking the guests today those questions submitted by the viewers. Now we're going to continue where we left off. Who wants to pick us back up?
Oh, same topic?
Yeah, same topic, but quickly I'll have Chud Logic. I guess if you want.
Okay, let me cut to the chase. Okay, it's all fucking boring foreign policy shit. Okay, Dylan, right? Very rich that you've come up with this topic, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
When allegedly you went to Ukraine on the Ukrainian dime to run through Ukrainian pussy.
Chud's not here for the boring foreign policy. He's here for the drama. Bring the drama.
That
Answer
is true.
to that.
It was bussy, actually.
How many whores have you run through?
Progressive.
I lost count, of course.
Okay.
Yeah. Dylan's been running through those war widows like a goddamn racer.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, sorry, your house got blown up. Come around my place and you can stay here for a little bit. Don't worry about it.
Thank you, Chud Logic, for coming, and thank you, Alex Stein, for coming on today. So who wants to actually pick us back up?
No, I mean, I think that's a fair point, that foreign aid has only become a controversial topic because conservatives have pointed out how hypocritical and preposterous it is to spend hundreds of billions on other countries when we have a wide open border. That's the only reason this is controversial. The United States has utilized foreign aid for our benefit, to do what's best for America, to serve our interests, to promote American value. We've done that for decades, for centuries. It's been fine. The only reason it's a controversy now is because the Democrats and Joe Biden and all these leftist organizations have a wide open border, and More Perfect Union is 100% right. These are all fraudulent asylum claims that the system's being abused. These NGOs are training these people how to file fraudulent claims. Joe Biden's administration, the Democrats, literally just gave one of these fraudulent asylum claimants a court date in 2030, and they're not going to show up. And when they do show up, 98% of them get denied, and then they're here and they've got babies and everything else. That's the only reason this topic's even a controversial topic right now.
Hey, I've got a quick question, by the way, Lecture. No, sincere question. Lecture, if it was possible, so we spend a lot of money protecting our southern border as it is. If it was possible to spend that amount of money investing in a variety of Latin American countries, Mexico, Colombia, whatever else, and in the long term, say in 5 to 10 years, the money that we invest in foreign aid, that we give them in foreign aid, could contribute to the betterment of conditions in those countries to the point where they don't really have that many migrant trains coming up on north, you know? We could make them want to live in their countries. If that could be done, would you prefer that? Do you think that'd be a good run forward?
Sure. I just don't think that can be done. That's been tried. We've been trying to help those countries. And it's not just the Latin American countries that are in these. We have people from over 120 different countries crossing our border just this year alone. And so if that was possible, if we could do that and we'd get a wonderful, wonderful result, then who wouldn't support it? It's a wonderful result. There's no more illegal aliens.
I just have to throw in that, like,
it's really fucking really weird that, like, you guys, that, like, you're just two different socialists that want to spend the American dollar on different fucking things. How about we just end the fucking drug war, and then the fucking cartels and so much of the crime that is in many of these South American countries.
Well, hold on. I want to end the drug war.
Wait, too many people talking at once. Okay,
and like we can have stability by just not violating people's rights. You don't have to spend a fucking dollar. You can just stop violating people's rights, and you'll save money and stabilize South America. Like, can we just without spending anybody's money?
We're starting to go a little bit off topic, but I am interested to see Lecture Fan respond to that, just because I'm interested to see the two conservatives go at it over the drug war. We're conservative on that side.
No, Fabian's saying that I support a bunch of government spending. It's like, no, I believe in across the board, massive spending cuts at the federal level, massive spending cuts to where we're running a surplus. You're saying, oh, you support the United States government doing the number one thing it's supposed to do, which is military and foreign policy. Oh, you're a socialist. How stupid.
Okay, so I gotta throw this over to there's people waiting. So first I want to throw it over to
socialism is when the government does stuff. We all know this.
Please, socialist. Sorry, I gotta make sure we have enough time for everybody. Kraut, you've been waiting a bit. I also have Adam, MPU, and Alex. I put you on the list because you just haven't said anything yet.
Okay, Britain is currently going through a cost of living crisis, the worst since the 1970s, as well as a migration crisis as well. Poland went through a constitutional crisis in the last few years. Italy is going through a migration crisis. Lots of crises politically across Europe, cost of living crisis mainly. Lots of issues to deal with. Yet still, despite these crises, we've all somehow found the political will to also provide military aid to Ukraine. When figures on the American far right say that they want to condition military aid to Ukraine upon something border, it just doesn't come across as sincere. It comes across like an excuse, as if they're just deliberately attaching something completely non-related to an issue. It sounds like an excuse.
There's no American far right representing. Please stop.
I'm not talking about
you. Are we talking about the border? So we're talking about the border crisis?
We were talking about how Ukraine is tied to the border.
I also don't see how they're the same. Is there like a Mexican army invading Texas, annexing people?
No, guys, listen, I live in Dallas. No, I live in Dallas, and what's going on is a lot of sex trafficking. I see a lot of children that are actually, their parents are paying money to the cartels so they can come over here. So this is a business. This is not like, oh, just fuddy-duddy, I'm a refuge, my country stinks. As a matter of fact, you can even go look up the trucks that are full of a lot of these people, because they come across the border with nothing, but they pay other coyotes to actually carry some of their belongings across the border. So this is a planned invasion by the cartel, the most powerful mafia group in the world, here to destabilize America. Because look, Japan doesn't have this problem. North Korea doesn't have this problem.
Japan's doing great right now. That's true. Model of economic and social success.
Hey,
if they let more immigrants in, they might have actually.
Talk about who's really behind this trafficking.
Alex,
I know you probably don't want to call it out because you know.
Stop.
Who's really behind the coyotes?
We need everybody, please.
The Japanese. They're trying to. They're angry.
Well, it starts with the J.
I'm gonna start muting people. Okay. That was the first one I muted. It was Chud. I'll start muting everyone else. I chose Chud first because I know he can take it. Okay. Alex, I want to let you finish your point, and then we have people on a list to go to. I want to make sure we get to Adam and MPU, but Alex, I want to make sure you get to finish your point uninterrupted.
Well, and just to Vosh real quick, I would just say that the culture in Japan and the safety, and a country like South Korea or North Korea, I believe, is safe if you're not getting killed by a dictator. I'm just saying there's other countries that don't just allow every Nigerian ex-rapist into their country. And if you think that's a joke, there are literally people here that have been convicted of rape that are coming across here that don't have to go through any sort of paperwork. Yet if I wanted to leave, I have to have my passport. I just went out of the country to Mexico. I had to spend 4 hours in customs nearly. So I'm just saying, why do I have to do all that? They don't have to be vaccinated. You know, they're just held to a different standard than an American citizen. So what's happening is a foreign invasion. And I guess
you
that's
got vaccinated?
Can I ask you, Alex, quickly?
No, I didn't. But I'm
oh,
just
then you
saying.
don't have to. What are you? No, then what are you complaining about?
Wait, let me.
A lot of people. You're saying nobody lost their job or nobody couldn't travel without a vaccine.
Well, you just said they don't have to be vaccinated, like you were whining you had to, and it turns out you haven't. So, like, what's the issue? You're like a Mexican immigrant in terms of your Fauci out.
Now we're arguing semantics. I'm just saying at one point you know that it was an obligation to.
Now we're arguing
vaccinated.
epidemiology, actually.
It's calling you a hypocrite.
Well, we don't have to argue the vaccine. I'm just saying they don't have to. They don't have to have a passport. Why do I have to have a passport?
Let's be clear. The topic is, let's bring it back over to this being tied to Ukraine. I wanted to throw this back to the people on the list. I want to throw it over to Adam. What do you think about the idea of these?
Also, was Israel, you know.
Yeah, well, that was also
you get forced it.
Yeah, can we get into Israel? Can we get into Israel, please?
You can tie it to Israel.
Okay, I've got a really important question to ask.
Okay.
This is important. This is important. This is important.
1 second. All right.
Okay, Chud's muted, so I'd like to mute him again because it's fun. Adam, something. You're on the list. You've been waiting. I wanted to make sure you got a chance to speak, and then we should move over to Israel and Gaza and talk about that a little bit. But of course, I made it Ukraine because I can. Adam.
All right, sure, thank you. So, Alex, first off, hey, how's Russia doing in NATO? You know, I've heard you. Did you have to
They wanted to join a long time ago. And first of all, let me tell you something. I'm the smartest pimp
it's
on
my
this
turn,
panel.
all right?
I'm the smartest pimp on this panel. So yes, I've misspoke before. I have misspoke before, but I'm still the biggest pimp here. Yes, I am the biggest pimp
Do you
here.
also sex traffic?
I am. Yeah, I'm a pimp on a blimp. I got these phones on deck.
When he said he saw all the trafficking in Dallas, like he was seeing it from like a first person, like he was actually doing.
As a customer,
working together to beat the cartel.
All right.
Dude,
so first, just to address.
We only have so much time. So Adam, now that you're done dunking on him.
Okay, so just to quickly address some points. So Japan is not a good example in terms of immigration, or Korea. Both of those countries are dying as we speak, right? So let's not bring it up. Also, So anyway, and like I noticed that like our sort of opponents, like people on the right here, like their arguments are basically just variations of distilled boomer Facebook posts. So that's a bit disappointing. Otherwise, in terms of the immigration and the southern border, and in terms of America, like as a European, I just want to share like a quick few lines of a banger song I've heard recently. It goes, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these homeless tempest."
Dude, conservatives hate it when you quote Jesus at them, or the Bible. They hate that shit.
Tossed to me, I lift my lamp beside.
Watch them get super mad about this.
The golden door. I think it's a great song, but like, I don't know why.
Took that Frenchie statue.
Yeah, I know, right? So like, so this is the big contradiction for me, from my perspective, because like America is all about land of the free, go there, you can make it. Meanwhile, conservatives are hell bent on turning America into this like little walled garden sort of white majority. Sort of.
So now we don't have. Wait. I want to make sure this goes to MPU because he wants to talk and he's been on the list for a while. And then I want to throw it over to Chud because Chud has started a protest movement in my chat about being muted, so I want to make sure he gets recognized as an oppressed person. So MPU?
Free Chud, hashtag free Chud.
Yeah, how have I not been muted, but Chud has twice? Like, that's just not fair.
So, yeah, to kind of get to your point, America has probably the most generous immigration policy of any country on the world. If you step across the border without permission in Mexico, they lock you up. Okay? That's it. You get locked up. Okay, we have over 1 million people enter this country through a legal process, and we have under the Biden administration close to 8 million thus far illegals that have crossed, many of whom are convicted felons. They've been deported once, twice, 3 or more times. Okay, and they're still coming across, and the president or the current administration has done nothing to quell that tide. They just simply make it easier. They made an app making it easier for people to come in, and then they just simply change the terminology around so these people can have quote unquote legal status while they're waiting for up to 10 years, as Lecture Fan put out a few minutes ago. The cartels, this is not about the war on drugs, Fabian, with all due respect. I get where you come from as a libertarian, that there's no real federal rule or federal control for drug policy, or they shouldn't. That's your take, right? But the problem is that the cartels are making as much or more money.
Univariate analysis. I'm not a boomer con.
I don't care. Okay, the point is that the cartels are making as much or more money trafficking in human bodies, okay, than they do in drug sales, right? So let's just put it out there. If we build up South America, it's not going to keep the people.
Do you deny that the problem would be lessened? Do you deny that the problem would be lessened if we stop the war on drugs? Yes or no?
No, I don't think it will.
Okay. Well, before we devolve into the war on drugs,
will make the exact same amount of money.
I just wanted to say,
the cartel make more.
Before we delve into the war on drugs,
the cartels.
Wait. I'm asking you both to wait. We're delving into a totally separate topic now, and I want to make sure we pull it back a little bit. And Shud has been waiting. He says he's oppressed. I want to give him a platform as a progressive. I give oppressed people platforms. Shud, what do you have to say?
Yes. Well, I tried to make it about Ukraine, but Dylan wasn't interested in exploring.
I thought you said Israel.
I invite you to make your conclusions about that. Well, no, I asked you about what was going on in Ukraine, but that doesn't matter. The only thing I wanted to say, maybe this can kick off the Israel conversation. Why is it that America needs to give money to Israel? Because surely the the Zionists are, more on top of that already, surely.
Oh, that's an easy question, because Israel's the most legitimate country in the Middle East.
We should get the cartels to give them the money.
They're our best ally. They've been the most wonderful ally. They help us fight terrorism. They're the indigenous people of that land, subject to horrible radical Islamic extremism. You've got
the indigenous people. That really depends on what you mean by indigenous. Citation needed.
Americans that were captured by.
Yeah, we might cover that in a future stream.
Hamas, Israel's our best ally. They're one of the greatest countries on earth. Full support for Israel.
How the fuck do you maintain we shouldn't be giving money to Ukraine? But
lecture fans in favor of aid to Ukraine as well.
Okay, so
I'm in favor of balancing. I'm in favor of balance. I'm in favor of balancing the budget, and then once you balance the budget, then you can send it to Ukraine.
Okay, but you don't need to do that first to send money to Israel? Like Israel's special or something?
I do think Israel's different from Ukraine, and I'm so proud of the Republicans and conservative movement. The conservative movement has come out strong in support of Israel, despite the non-support for Ukraine. And I think there is a difference between Israel and Ukraine, and I'm so happy to see the Republicans and the conservatives full.
It really makes you wonder if the deferring to immigration thing was actually not an issue, and it's just a way of avoiding the actual topic.
Obviously,
that's the reality. It's the reality in Congress.
It's always a proxy issue. It's like when they say
Can I ask that around the room? Do people think that the tying of immigration to the foreign aid bill is about solving immigration, or is it about killing the Ukraine, Israel,
killing the
Taiwan
Ukraine bill? Killing the aid.
Killing the bill. Killing the bill.
It's about neither. It's about fucking politicians and dumb fucking conservatives that follow their fucking coattails on Twitter instead of actually thinking for a goddamn moment. And politicians just want something to browbeat and beat their fucking chest about. The idea that these two things are the same in this giant complex fucking budget is ludicrous. It's a way to get to go, why are we spending money over there when we should be spending money at home? And it's like, or we could just stop spending money on shit that makes the problem worse. But
I have actually a neat theory about this, by the way. I have actually a nice, neatly packaged theory. Let's see what you think. So the GOP seems to support aid to Israel unconditionally, basically, and they seem to drag their feet on Ukraine, right? They're tying it to the border stuff. So since the GOP has been getting more and more far right, so on one hand we have Israel, which is which is led by a far right government, aiming to ethnically cleanse the Gaza Strip and create an ethno state, and inside Israel, as it's been happening on the West Bank, for example. And on the other hand, we have Ukraine, a liberal democracy fighting against a similarly far right invasion force, a traditional sort of very far right, traditional conservative, etc., Christian fascist almost government, Russia, right? And the GOP is not really in favor of supporting the Ukrainians against that, right? So I see a kind of strange pattern here that like fascist invasion done by like against the liberal democracy, we don't support liberal democracy, and then invasion and ethnic cleansing by a.
But wait, Lexicon doesn't want to support Russia, does he? Lexicon doesn't want to give money to Russia. That would be the equivalent, surely.
Can you define far right? You used far right 4 times.
It's when a person is bad.
Yes,
Wait. Multiple people have asked some question. Can we have one? So first,
can I quickly respond to the?
Oh, sorry. Do you want to do that question instead? Okay.
No, just like the random journalism slur. Like, what the fuck?
No, just a quick response. Yes, so far right would be Russia, for example, a hyper nationalist, sort of a very traditional Christian.
What's an example? Can you give a definition?
Far right, sure. So the far right is a sort of also on the is characterized. I can give you characteristics. So it's characterized by sort of hyper nationalism, sort of a very sort of hyper masculinized culture and state ethos. Is sort of looking back to a great future and sort of eulogizing a great future, and generally thinking that the degeneracy from certain sources, certain ethnic groups or
is that Alex Stein? Is Alex Stein, doesn't it?
Ruining.
The Lecture fan finds that very funny. Let's take a look. Far right definition. Far right politics, or right-wing extremism, refers to a spectrum of political thought that tends to be radically conservative, ultranationalist, and authoritarian, often including nativist tendencies. The name derives from the left-right political spectrum, with the far right considering further from center than the standard political right. Nativism. Promoting or protecting the interests of native-born. So yeah, like nationalism. So like ultranationalism. So according to Wikipedia, he seems to be like pretty much on the mark.
That makes Alex Stein far right. Are you saying Alex Stein is far right? Are you saying Alex Stein is far right?
Oh, I mean, the only one here.
He's a famous definition. I mean,
Alex Stein is a humble patriot, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
100%. But first of all, let me just say
he supports cartel business. He can't be an American chauvinist.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly right, because I have to tip the strippers. I mean, and that's one thing that everybody needs to realize. Idolizing a politician is like thinking the stripper actually likes you. None of these politicians like us. They don't care about us. They're never going to solve our problems, especially Vladimir Zelensky, or Joe Biden, or even, believe it or not, Donald Trump is not perfect, even though I love the man, and he likes to grab him by the you-know-what, just like I do when I'm at the strip club with the sex trafficking victims. But my point is, I really don't like aid to either of them. I mean, I want to help out Israel, of course, but then also Israel kills 3 of their own hostages that are waving white flags. That makes me kind of feel like maybe we should be shooting less guns at each other, and maybe less innocent people will get shot. So, I mean, I know that sounds crazy, but I'm very anti-war.
Wait. Do you want a peace agreement?
Oh, of course, and I think that's what everybody wants, but I don't understand why. But this is the problem. Is it going to be a 2 states? Is it going to be a 2 states?
I can't hear his
question.
Well,
this is what they say.
Let me hear. What's your question?
With who do you want to make peace? Because all the people.
This is what they say. They would say that it would be a 2-state solution, but I don't know if that's even possible.
How do you make peace in Ukraine?
Another 2-state solution. I mean, you guys have the Donbass region, and then
you have Russia and Ukraine.
You know what
they should have just agreed with Vladimir Zelensky. I mean, with Vladimir Putin at the beginning.
You know what the Russian position is?
They want the Donbass region, yeah.
No, they still insist to this day. They still insist on all of Ukraine. They
Well, let
have
them
no
have it. Who
idea.
gives a damn?
Why should they
Ukraine's
have it?
fake
True.
anyway.
No. This is woke garbage. Okay, listen.
doing?
Russia's borders were assigned at birth in 1993. They signed a treatise. You will never have the Donbass. Like this idea that Russia can just change its borders, based on what? You know, like a woke doctor? No, ridiculous. There are two states, Ukraine and Russia. They have tightly defined, biologically ordained borders. And what Russia's been doing lately is a ridiculous postmodern attempt at subverting the traditional Ukraine-Russia border with this, I don't know, this what, like cry bullying? Ridiculous. No, I fully support whatever aid is necessary to return Ukraine and Russia to their biologically ordained status.
Well, if a 9-year-old, let me say this, if a 9-year-old can biologically change her sex, then I think Russia can biologically change her borders.
So when does the country get to,
Lockheed
so
Martin
how does the country get to,
against the 9-year-old?
How do you get to decide which country does get to exist and which one doesn't?
Well, it's simple. You played a video game. Have you ever played a video game before or a board
So you
game?
want to live in a world of like
whoever has more resources and more guns usually wins.
Do you really want to enter a dog-eat-dog world?
We're already in it. We're already in it. We're already in it, bud.
He's already in it in Dallas.
Years and sitting.
We're only in it if we allow it to happen.
Trust me, you've been eaten by the dog already. You already got those cat ears. You've already been eaten. You know it's dog eat dog. I mean, that's how it already is.
So you want to
we all need to run away to the beach at this point.
All the agreements, everything else, and just let everyone do whatever the fuck they want. Just invade, conflict, and everything.
Wasn't that what Russia?
Because you know how much frozen conflict there are.
I don't want them to fight. I'm just saying, you know, it's a futile fight in the Ukraine, and we're just giving them money. They need to come to an agreement.
Why is it futile?
Because they're not going to beat Russia in a war. It's going to be like Vietnam or the war in Iraq.
Vietnam won.
I don't know if you can win a modern day war.
Pause for a second. I just wanted to. I'm curious for my own. Who's Vietnam in the Vietnam analogy?
Well, I guess you'd say Russia's America in the Vietnam analogy, but you know they would just
would they
still
be
go
Vietnam in the Vietnam analogy, or
Vietnam won?
Well,
Can you show me on a map where Vietnam is?
When I'm sitting there, probably not. Honestly, I mean, what do I look like? You probably couldn't either, dude. I'm telling you, you get a map of 50 states. It takes you a couple tries.
Well,
to probably
you can tell because famously
all.
America annexed the Donbass portion of Vietnam back in '73.
I'm just saying, regardless, guys, a modern day war doesn't have winners and losers. I mean, I guess you could say the Taliban beat America, but I guess that's just what they're going to do. They're just going to stay there. Well, they'll just stay there and fight forever, but it's just, you know, it seems...
That's so true, Fabian.
As America...
People dying in war is bad, I can agree.
It's right. It's the people that keep dying. It's the Russian soldiers that get conscripted to go die in Ukraine, and it's the Ukrainians that are dying as we continuously fund it because... You know, we have some fucking ego about this vague notion of stability, as if America is this paragon of fucking stability.
Is the Iranians fighting? The Iranians.
Do you think that I can't hear anything?
Years.
Okay, wait. If you all talk at the same time, I can't hear anything. I know Vosh wanted to talk, and I know Kraut wanted to talk. So,
can I get in?
And lecture, I'll write your name down. Okay.
I just want to say it's always weird to me how what start out as like measured conversations on budgetary allowances for supporting Ukraine turn into stuff like this nebulous notion of peace. Everything degrades into talking like an anime villain. Like, yeah, I think if you asked your average Ukrainian whether or not they're more stable today or 4 years ago, they could give you a pretty clear answer. I think that global stability is actually a pretty understandable concept. America, we are the global market. America benefits massively from the world running like a well-oiled clock. You know, as much as some corporations in America benefit from war, and to be sure they do, I'm not suggesting otherwise, for the most part, we benefit from the world being stable. So does Russia, by the way. It's not like the average Russian citizen is doing fantastically right now. Ideally, they would eventually, you know, upgrade to a liberal democracy or, God willing, a socialist one, but, you know, that's one step at a time. But in order for us to, like, facilitate that process, we have to get our hands dirty with making difficult decisions when it comes to what we do or don't want to support. The idea of like fully abdicating ourselves from global responsibility, it's a child's fantasy. It's like a kid not wanting to get involved in schoolyard drama. We can't help it, and we're the biggest country in the world in terms of power. There's no escaping the responsibility that comes with that.
Again, you set up these false dichotomies of like where the idea that we shouldn't be continuously funding a proxy war means that America is this like 1910s isolationist country nation before the progressive era, right? Like it's very simple to say, like, you don't have to advocate one extreme over the other. You can very easily say America should be doing everything it can to try and strong arm Ukraine and Russia into peace agreements. And you could be saying the exact same thing about Israel and Hamas or any other conflict in which, for whatever fucking reason, we're funding multiple different sides and we're bleeding money that we shouldn't be spending. And yeah, you say, well, we're all about stability.
We're not really
Well, if we're
spending
all
money
about
on
stability,
Ukraine.
then we should
The
be
Ukraine
using,
war is not a
we should be
proxy
using
war.
that power
The
to bring
Ukraine-
peace,
Ukraine
to
war
get
is not a proxy
stability.
war.
Okay,
We are.
People act like America is spending a huge portion of its budget on Ukraine, but to my understanding, they're just donating equipment that's basically not seeing use. If anything, it's saving the money because they're not going to spend that on upkeep. Unless I'm mistaken.
Wait,
That you didn't have
I'm
when it
asking us to
benefits
stop.
you, and then you get to throw away when it is.
Okay.
The Ukraine war is not a proxy
Yes.
war. The Ukraine war is not a proxy war. The Ukrainians are going to continue fighting even if you cut aid. It would be nice if you gave aid. It would be the right thing to do. But if you cut it, the Ukrainians will keep fighting. And the Europeans will keep shipping their aid to Ukraine. It is not a proxy war. I don't know why that always has to be official.
Can I? Sorry, I can't hear the end of. I couldn't hear the end of Kraut's sentence. Could you say that one more time?
I don't wait. Sorry, I don't know why this idea always has to be brought in that it is a proxy war. That somehow Russia is in some way benevolent here. That somehow misunderstood or something.
What? No.
Russia is not being misunderstood.
Nobody's saying that.
Nobody's saying Russia's benevolent.
Okay.
Well, it's not a proxy war. It seems like these positions always kind of come adjacent. Because again, it's like you could say this isn't our business or whatever, but then a bunch of other stuff slips out, like vague notion of stability or proxy war. It's look, us funding an ally is not crazy. That's not some like wild new overextension of state power. Nations have been doing this since before the nation state even existed. The idea of our ally is under attack, we should help them, goes back as far as organized human civilization. I mean, this is pre-language. So
it's not just about alliance. It's not just about
Tiger,
alliance. In the last 20 years,
that's what I thought.
Russia has started 9 wars, or been involved in 9 wars. All of them of aggression. All of them like in Moldova.
Russia's a naughty boy.
Transnistria, bombing
Nobody here
Syria,
likes Russia.
Chechnya, etc. They have been very aggressive, and their goal is very clearly outlined. They want to turn Europe into a bunch of poker chips, to be divided up into spheres of influence.
So,
Okay,
Fabian,
so wait,
Fabian,
I'm
it
sorry,
is true.
we gotta pause this. We don't have much time left, so I want to make sure the people who've been waiting get to talk. I know MPU has been waiting. I've seen him trying to get in a few times, so I want to make sure MPU gets to talk. And Lecture Fan, I put him on the list, so I gotta give him time to talk. I stick by my commitments, and then we'll kick some people out.
Okay, so the situation in Ukraine is a proxy war. The situation in Israel is a proxy war, because when we send our munitions or we send money over there, okay, to achieve an objective, we're letting them do the thing, but we're paying for the thing. Okay, and the problem isn't so much that we are sending military hardware. We're actually paying Ukrainian pensions. This is money that the Congress is, or not the Congress, well, actually, the Congress and administration have sent to Ukraine to actually pay for pensions of government employees and military personnel. So it's not just like there's this clean, pure audit trail. Everybody knows this piece of equipment came in, this piece of equipment was expended. There is a lot of corruption in what's going on in Ukraine. And the people that are saying put a pause on it or put more restriction and control, they just want to understand where everything is going and that it is reasonably accounted for. You can't account for everything. That's not going to happen, right? You're not going to have a complete and total accounting.
Who is paying the bills?
Accounting.
Who is paying the bills for Ukrainian? Who's paying the bills for Ukrainian state employees right now?
The Ukrainian government. Yeah, the Ukrainian government.
The Dutch government opened
Dutch
its budget to the Ukrainian government.
Yes, sure. So
the Dutch are literally paying right now for all the state employees.
When we send billions of dollars of hardware, material, or money over there,
yes, hardware.
The American taxpayer.
In hardware mostly, but so most of the money transfers are done by the coming from the EU. So the functioning of the Ukrainian state is held up by the EU taxpayers who support this, by the way, not the American taxpayers. America mostly sends hardware, which is calculated as money, but it's hardware. Money is sent mostly by the EU.
Right, we're sending.
Let me say this point. It is money. Let me answer that. Let me rebut that.
Alex, you have to wait because we're already hit the time, and Lecture Fan is sitting there waiting like a very polite.
I want to hear what
man,
Alex has got to say.
No,
I just want to say it is money because the biggest industries in America are Raytheon and Halliburton is our military-industrial complex. So we get to give them our old equipment so we can
Yes,
build
and who
ourselves
runs those? Who runs those companies?
I'm asking
I think a lot of what you see amongst the isolationists on the panel is a result of Americans being wonderfully secure. We've had total security. We've had a great economy. I love that Kraut started out this conversation by basically saying that Trump was right, that Europe was never paying for their own defenses enough, and now Europe is having to ramp up. Trump was right. More Perfect Union brings up a great point about the reason that Ukraine is different from Israel is because Ukraine is corrupt, and the Bidens themselves were involved in corruption in Ukraine, and so that's why there's a whole bunch of questions about sending all of this money there. That's the big issue.
Here, Zelensky is actually related to Biden. It's like a long con, you know? Not a problem with Netanyahu.
Okay,
there's one thing though. There's one thing that I really want to add in here.
Why that's funny.
The Americans mostly send equipment. They don't send money. They send equipment. And the reason why so many of us here in Europe really want the equipment from America to keep going and keep coming.
Second-hand equipment.
Yeah, and this is, I'm sad that like none of the military YouTubers,
like those are assets.
It's sad that like
has value.
Laserpig or one of the military YouTubers is not here. One of the biggest surprises of this war is just how much superior American weapons are to Russian weapons. It's insane. Like Adam probably saw the videos himself. One single Bradley taking out an entire column of 12 Russian armored vehicles and tanks.
It's pretty insane.
Crazy. It's insane how much superior that equipment is.
And actually, in terms of selling, though,
fucking Twitter might get really mad if you use.
In terms of selling, though, like those things have been sitting in storage for like 20, 30 years with no buyers. Yes, but they're still very useful against Russian hardware, which is shit. So if there were buyers for that, I mean, there aren't really any buyers, at least not trustworthy buyers. You don't want like geopolitical enemies or untrustworthy countries buying your stuff because then they'll know their weakness, etc. Right? So what's being transferred to Ukraine has been sitting in storage for 20-30 years. And one point I quickly want to bring up, when Ukraine hits one of the...
We need to kick people off. I already got the people.
Okay, 20 seconds, all right? So when Ukraine hit that Russian forward helicopter base with the ATACMS missile, then that missile was manufactured in 1996. It was just time to decommission that missile, which costs money, which, you have to pay technicians, etc. And instead of decommissioning it, you just ship it to Ukraine, have fun, use it, good luck, and then a bunch of Russian hardware gets smashed.
Right, and then the U.S. turns around, right? And then the military-industrial complex says, well, we have to replenish all of this hardware that we gave away, and then the taxpayers of the United States end up having to pay the bill down the road again with...
It was going to be decommissioned anyway.
They don't have to replenish all the hardware. Like, every single piece of hardware they give away doesn't have to be replenished.
It was going
also, citation needed
to be decommissioned in months. It's the same thing.
So I got we're gonna be kicking people out, but first I got a $100 donation, so they get to ask a question because they donated money, and I'm a capitalist now, so I make the money. So this is a $100 question, and it's for, and it seems to be for Lecture Fan, Alex Stein, and NPU. Do you think that General Alden's plan would have been able to reduce loss of life and increase efficiency in the Ukraine-Russia war?
Not familiar with General Alden's plan, whatever the hell that is.
Alex?
No.
NPU?
No.
Okay.
It's very detailed, but it's a very good plan.
Well, I guess we'll have to do more research then. Well, thank you for $100. That was a great use of your money. You could have, I don't know, saved like a few very poor children in a third world country, but you did this instead, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Anyway, let's kick the people that are going to get kicked today. The people that are going to get kicked, and this was... Oh, here's the list.
Oh, I'm trapped. Cool.
I'm very sorry. Adam Kraut, Europeans kicked out of the conversation.
Finally, sleep.
Kicked out, thrown over the top rope. I'm very sorry. You guys go to bed now. Bye-bye. I love you both.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Farewell, Adam.
Good luck.
The next two that are kicked is Fabian and... Oh, is this true? I can't believe it. Chud. I'm very sorry. One round.
Gutting. That's a shame.
4 people are getting kicked. It's a fucking massacre.
Oh no!
People didn't like what I had to say about the Jays, clearly, but it's all good. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Bye bye, everybody. It's an uneven round this time because we have some people make cancellations, so we're, you know, we have to change the voting system. We have a very transparent system here when we choose who gets kicked and who doesn't get kicked, based upon my interests and my interests alone.
Yeah, it's a very DNC style.
It's a very good. It's a very good
behind
system.
the scenes. Yeah,
it's a very good system. We have,
like,
we have a
like
central
those
committee that works with a board. It's very democratic.
Mail-in voting.
It's very democratic. All of our votes are digital, and I have them all on a hard drive that I keep around my neck. All of the votes are digital. You vote. It's only by TikTok. Okay.
The voting drops appeared at the last moment. You know, completely changed the
Now we're gonna get into some serious topics. Now we just talked about a war, so we need to get into something actually serious. Okay, and that's the war on Christmas. The war on Christmas. It's been resumed.
I think we should have a different war, and it's the war on this topic.
The war on Christmas is intense. It's deadly. It's awful, and they're going after the good faith. So the question is for the room: is there actually a war on Christmas, or is it a blown out proportion just by like Fox News hosts? Isn't nonsense.
There's just a massive amount of religious bigotry on the left. Tons of religious bigotry and hatred on the left.
True, I agree.
Not enough though. Not enough.
Okay.
So if I can, I'd like to say that, you know what, I do agree there is a war on Christmas, and I think it's fucking based. All right. I think we should, you know, I think we should continue the war on Christmas. In fact, I think we should actually bring in like heavy artillery, shoot down any Christmas trees that we see. We need to make this like a true secular utopia.
Okay,
Right,
to link it back to the previous topic, you're already funding the Iron Dome, so why the fuck didn't that shoot Santa down? That's what I want to know. What's it in there for?
Because bad boys and girls don't get presents, so he never had to visit there. Look, my fucking contention here, and the thing that drives me up the wall, okay, is that there's a very clear way of handling this, okay, and it's that you should say Merry Christmas on Christmas. And when it's not Christmas, you say Happy Holidays. I don't get, like, this seems so straightforward. Like, I guess conservatives want us to live in a world where it's like December 17th and you go to the store and someone says Merry Christmas. No, the fuck it isn't. What are you talking about? That's not for a week or more. It's insane to me. Happy Holidays isn't even like, you know, oh, you're replacing Christmas or whatever. It's just not fucking Christmas yet. Anyway, yeah, the war on Christmas fucking talking point is really dialed down now. I guess it's just all trans people or whatever conservatives are obsessed with, trans cock, I don't know. Because this like Rush Limbaugh era of like American good old boy folksy town hero shit is dying because people won't say Merry Christmas on December 1st. I just haven't heard it in a while. Maybe it's because Tucker Carlson's not currently with Fox. Maybe he'd be doing that bit if he was still with them.
Well, I just want to say at this point, I was just in New York City, and I was so surprised by the hotel rooms were so much more expensive in December because I'd been there multiple times this year. And I thought, oh, well, it's because there's all these great Christmas lights. But literally, other than 30 Rockefeller Center, there wasn't that many Christmas decorations in New York. And I always thought, like, I always envisioned the movie Home Alone, where it's just Christmas everywhere. But New York wasn't like that when I was there. So I do think Christmas is dying, but a lot of that is Hanukkah envy because Hanukkah gets 8 crazy nights, and, you know, Christmas only gets 1. So you're gonna obviously the Christians are gonna be a little jealous about that, you know. And Jesus was a Jew, so they kind of like a lot of Jewish stuff. So, you know, I do think there is some sort of a war on Christmas. I think that there's less jolly spirits during the holiday seasons, and for whatever reason, maybe because people are struggling financially, I don't know, but it does seem like there is less Christmas decorations and less Christmas joy around the holiday season here in America.
I also think Protestants are godless, and this is also a big issue. Like, Catholics know how to throw a party, and Protestants, the only thing they can do to celebrate Christ is to, like, play the same 3 songs in every department store in America for 1.5 months.
You say that, Bosh, but the Protestants are acting very much like the Catholics in their need to feel oppressed. They need to be downtrodden by this.
Certainly, they've taken nothing but the best qualities, to be sure. I can't stand the department store music, you know? Like, does anyone really think we're honoring Christ with the fucking, the Gaudi, like the nanosecond Thanksgiving ends? Or before. They don't even care. They'll do it before fucking Halloween. these days, you know? Ridiculous. Jesus Christ would have wanted us to celebrate Halloween with everything decorated in black and orange. The idea of introducing Christmas stuff before then is just ungodly.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, I agree. I like Halloween. You know, it's very spooky. You know, and you know, I like the spooky holidays. But as far as like Christmas goes, like maybe everybody realized that, like, you know, a fat dude sliding down your chimney, you know, ruin your fucking chimney is bringing down your property value. Maybe people don't like to encourage that amongst their children. I don't know.
Breaking and entering, you mean?
Yeah.
I think
also,
people are getting.
Who even has a chimney anymore? That's what the green agenda is all about. Getting rid of fireplaces was to stop Christmas. It was the ultimate war.
You know what's hilarious?
How was I supposed to know
It's
he
half
was
you
there?
motherfuckers bitch about Christmas. You don't even believe in Christmas. But then you want to try to make the right or the conservatives the cuck in the matter about Christmas. First off, I could give a fuck two less about any Zionist ideology about what Christmas is and their marketing ploy to keep making me spend my fucking hard-earned money. But you fucks, especially you socialist fucks, how about you guys explain to me what Christmas means to you? No, because I mean everything.
Spend your money.
No, let's let him finish.
Zionists have
on a roll here.
Zionists have created this model where they make these conservative Christians and Catholics all agree to their little approach to Jesus, who they plucked, right? We all know this. And then on the flip side, everybody's like, oh, these fucking conservatives who love them some Jesus on the wall, they're the ones that are upset. I never believed in that white Jesus on the wall. Never. But I'm still a conservative, right? I still believe that everybody has a right to their religion. Yeah, I agree that this is a whole bunch of fuckery. But just like I would say to Dylan before, and I'll say now, fuck Israel, fuck Ukraine. Don't give a fuck about any of it, including your holidays. That's what I'm saying. So y'all can quit arguing about it.
Fuck Christmas. Anybody who's complaining about Christmas becoming outdated is just being a crybaby.
Critical support for Israel in their war against Christmas. Like, this is very much like an enemy of my enemy of my. But you know, like if that's what it takes, then all right. I'm willing to allow the IDF to be deployed to American Macy's so they can stop playing that fucking music, like at the beginning of November onward.
Critical support for Israel is a very different tune than you used to have on Twitch.
J-dams are the only possible solution to non-stop Christmas tunes.
Santa should be a black man with all the breaking and entering he does, and that's not a racial thing. That's just a statistical.
Oh my God, Alex, you can't say that. Good.
Yes,
God.
you can say that. I do think Santa would. He has a lot of black characteristics.
Enter into your fucking house if you don't shut the fuck up, Alex. What did I tell you?
These are not.
I think that's progressive.
I, as a newly reformed conservative woman, actually love Christmas. I love a holiday that celebrates like men giving presents to women. I love it. It's perfect. I love Christmas. That's great.
Santa should be a gay man. He has sex with his elves in my fantasy.
Wait, I thought you said you didn't want him to be gay. You need to be consistent on this. Do you?
No, I want him to be a black gay. I want him to be like RuPaul's Drag Race. I would like it to be RuPaul.
Can I just say?
RuPaul
Alex,
Santa would serve cunt, to be sure.
This isn't really relevant to anything, but are you fucking AOC? Because that's the news, right? That's the.
I wish. I'm about to be back in DC. I'm about to go sniff AOC's office area and just see if I can smell. If
This is modern trad conservatism. It's like how when you go on Twitter and they're all like Gunnar lolicons or whatever, and it's like this is going to bring back the Fourth Reich. It's like that in AOC, you know. It's
why do you always bring up lovely?
The right was correctly criticized for hyperfixating on AOC for years. So now it's like, all right, well, we might as well own it. That's modern conservatism.
And Alex Stein, two white boys privileged talking all this shit. What the fuck? Both of you cucks. Both of you. You are fucking retarded. Both of you.
Okay.
You motherfuckers. You both are fucking retarded.
Wait, I don't. Wait, this guy's cooking. Hold on.
I'm asking everybody quiet now, please. Help me moderate. Help me moderate. I'm asking you guys to help me right now.
I'm not prepared for this job.
I'm asking you guys to help me moderate by quieting down. Okay? Help me.
Shut up.
Help you.
Speaking.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so this topic was supposed to be about Christmas and the holiday season. This is supposed to be the soft topic.
But it's a dumb topic. It's a dumb
topic. Oh, it's a dumb topic.
It's a stupid fucking topic.
Why is it stupid? It's a brilliant topic. We're talking about the war on Christmas. It's an important issue.
I actually think there's a lot of interesting stuff to talk about with regard to, like, I don't know, culture of family homes,
let me poll the room. Who believes the war on Christmas is real? Raise your hand.
It's a proxy war.
Okay. Why is it real for the people who think it's real? And how is it real? How does it demonstrate? Hey, Kevin, I want to examine examine other opinions, Kevin. In the holiday
Who
season.
the fuck believes in it? Who the fuck
Kevin.
believes in it, Dylan?
I'm
This is
asking
one of those
them.
stupid ass takes you put up.
What do you
put that shit
mean?
up
You
for
just
some...
said, wait, redneck.
I
just
said
asked the
fuck it
room.
all. I
Redneck,
said fuck
asked
Israel
the
and fuck
room who
Ukraine
believes-
completely.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to think.
Wait, Dylan, did you do the Orthodox Christmas?
Yeah, I only meant Orthodox Christmas, of course. Yes.
No,
Only
I'm
Orthodox
actually like, well, you were in Ukraine. Did you do Orthodox Christmas? Or
I didn't
did
do
you...
Orthodox. No, I celebrated Passover when I was in Ukraine.
Really?
Yeah, I met a nice some Ukrainian Jews, and they invited me over for Passover.
This supports the Israel is destroying Christmas theory that we were examining earlier.
Wait, you distracted me. My point. Wait. Can we stop? Let me lead the show here for a moment. I'm gonna do it. How do I do a server mute? Everybody. Okay. Alex Stein and Lecture Fan, you guys believe the war on Christmas is real to some capacity. I think MPO also semi-raised a hand. Can you explain that? Because it seems like the rest of the room doesn't understand.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what it is it's a stand-in for like just attacking Christianity generally, right? The left can't stand the fact that people believe in a non-secular power that is greater than themselves, right? And so they come at anything that is Christian, whatever. And to Redneck's point, right? It doesn't matter whether you support the Christmas holiday, the commercialism and stuff like that, it's way fucking overdone. I get that. But really the message for Christians is it's about the birth of who they believe is the savior, right? And you can't attack anybody else's religion the way you can attack Christianity in this country, and it's fucked up, right?
Donald Trump literally just called again for a ban on Muslims, right?
You can't.
Oh, for fuck's sakes! Fuck Donald Trump! Jesus fucking Christ! Get him out of your head, you bitches!
You
can't. Yeah, he's only running to be president.
Wait. Let's let MPU finish his thought, right? Let him finish his thought quick. Okay.
Then let Redneck talk.
10 seconds. If you went after Ramadan, okay, which is the Muslim high holy month, right? If you went at it with the same kind of verve that they go after Christmas or anything that's Christian related, there'd be a fucking uproar. And I think the hypocrisy of the left is just fucking insane over it.
Lecture Fan, you're also a fan of Jesus. Could you chime in on this?
Well, first of all, I do think that Vosh was correct when he said that the war on Christmas is not really a big political issue right now. I think that's largely because Trump was so successful in bringing it back, and people started saying Merry Christmas again. More Perfect Union's right that.
Would you say Trump won the war on Christmas?
Vosh admitted, yeah, pretty much did, yeah. Vosh admitted though that he's a religious bigot, and so this does come from not only a release of religious hatred and religious bigotry from the atheist left, and it's not just Christmas. There's a war on all of our holidays. The Democrats and the left are trying to replace July 4th with Juneteenth. They're trying to replace Christmas with Kwanzaa, which is a completely made up thing. So and that's all designed to try to collapse. Hold on, let me finish.
No,
that's all designed to try to destroy the foundations of our country and our holidays, whether it's July 4th or Christmas. Then you collapse the society and try to replace it with socialism. And screw Halloween. I won't celebrate Halloween.
Wait.
The war on Halloween now too?
Stop. Slow down. I love.
This is unconscionable. I will not stand for this kind of talk against Halloween. In fact, we're going to call it here. Not because of that, but because it's about the midway point, and I want to go play some Baldur's Gate 3 with my partner. We are going to finish reacting to this panel on another day in a part 2. Probably tomorrow. So look forward to that. But have a good one, chat. Good night, Tiger Wad.